anyone hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Do I sound like a Dalek? Dalek or human? Human or Dalek? Cylon, human, human Cylon. Battlestar Galactica reference. No! Is that a no? You can't hear me, or a no? Cylons. Daleks up. All right. Am I making sense? Am I speaking English, or am I still speaking Dalek? Or they're both. Some kind of hybrid language. Some kind of human Dalek patois. Okay, it looks like we're good. It looks like people can hear me. Just chuck it in the wrong way. Wait a minute. Backwards. There we go. Chuck it here if you can hear me and stuff. This. Someone says I'm talking the Queen's English. I am not speaking the Queen's English, despite my proximity to said Queen. I am most definitely not from round here. Can you speak Whale? Do you mean Welsh?
No, like Dory.
Like what? Like no. Okay. Right. I'm getting way off track from Sub Terra, so I'm going to go back to being normal if that's a thing I can do. Yeah. So someone made the same joke. All right. Okay. Okay. Cool. It looks like the sound's back online. If anyone has trouble hearing me, if I get crackly again, just let me know in the comment section. Just chuck a message in there, and yeah. My mother has just said, shut up and get on with it. Get on with what? I'm just literally just sat here for 2 hours talking to people. That is what this is about. Maybe people will arrive through this door. Who knows what will happen? Okay, back to the Q&A. I was going to check to see if there are any extra questions in there. So I tell you what, just so I can see the chat and so I see if people are not able to hear me, just chuck your questions in the chat box right here. Should be a say something nice thing, so we can do it there, roughly on the screen. Okay, so what size are the minis in comparison to the tile? So you should be able to fit 4 on a tile. So they're like 25 millimeters across, and the tiles are 50 millimeters across. With the success of this game, how will it help ITV, and what extra things will it help you to do? Lots of stuff. Like honestly, this has been absolutely massive for us, like huge. Like I'm the only one in the ITV team, the core ITV team that works full time. The rest of the team, have other jobs and they do this part time. So this is probably going to mean we can get another full time person in on this. So on the existing team can go up to full time, or we can get someone else to come in and join us, which is going to massively increase the amount of stuff we can do with our projects, increase the amount of projects we can do. And yeah, it's going to be massive. In things like we've got a better budget for things like art development for the next game. We can invest more in time and energy and stuff into developing game rather than having to rush it out. We'll be able to put as much time and energy as we did with Sub Terra into the next stuff, which is really appreciated. Like it's really good. Okay, next question. What is the UV light? Is it a keyring, LED, or something more substantial? It'd be something small, so it'd be like a like a little LED light, not like a torch, which is cool. A pirate or a ninja? It's genuinely difficult to answer. Pirate or ninja? Tell you what, everyone vote in the comment section now. Pirate or ninja? Go for it. Let's see what happens. I'll defer this to the backers. Just type pirate or ninja in there if you want to vote. Someone said ninja pirate. Okay. Jake Sabaltucker says ninja. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Pirate or ninja? Ninja, pirate, ninja. Pirate. Pinja? What? Ninja? Parinja? Pirate, ninja, ninja. Ninja, exclamation mark. Ninja. This is pretty fun. Anyway, I'm going to go with whatever that list aggregates to. Will the pirate or ninja have a meeple beard? Well, as some of you may have seen, for a while, may have heard even from the podcast we've done with We're Not Wizards, we promised, thinking it would now happen, if we got to 300,000, I would add a beard sticker to the Meeple sticker pack because Richard from We're Not Wizards thinks I have a ridiculous beard, which I don't at the moment because I shaved it off a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we might put that in. But yeah, so the minis are 25, 28 millimeters. The bases are 25 millimeters across, but they're 28 millimeters scale, meaning they're around about the same size as Warhammer miniatures if you've got those, or have seen those in the flesh. That's a cool question from Adam Leamis. How did you start ITV? How about we all kind of get a cup of cocoa, sit by the fire, and let Uncle Peter tell you the story. So, how it started, me and my friend from university, Matthew, who our co-founder, we were at university doing our finals, and we got horribly bored with revision. And there's a local board game cafe, which is the first one in the UK in Oxford. It's called Thirsty Meeples. And we basically went there like once, twice a week for a while. As something to sort of fun to do in the evenings to get our mind off work. And we got really into it. We really enjoyed going there. The staff there were fantastic. The manager there, Simon, still keep in contact with him. He's great. And yeah, we got really into all the newer stuff. So we don't always played loads of games before, and we shared the cost of a copy of Chaos in the Old World years ago. So we're always fairly au fait with board games. But yeah, we decided one evening after we'd been to Thirsty Meeples, hey, why don't we try and design something? And it just kind of came from there, really. I mean, we got a sketch pad out and started drawing some stuff. Matthew studied chemistry, so we decided to do something that focused on that. So that's one thing we were interested in. And we just kind of got to making something and tested it with some friends, and they thought it was pretty cool. And just kind of kept going, developing it, kind of getting the maths right and all that stuff. And then we thought, hey, Kickstarter's a thing. Games are going up on there, doing pretty well. Let's see if this is something people like. And that did pretty well. We got funded on our first project, which was really lucky of us, really. Then we went ahead and took the little bit of money that we made from Molecular, invested that in some cool artwork from Zach to do Statecraft. And then Statecraft did so well that we were able to come here, have the office, for me to go full time and go crazy with Sub Terra. Hamad, hello Hamad. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Okay, what else we got? Is this a difficult game to win? Yes, it is, but it's not impossible. And if you're worried that losing the game is a bad feeling, I actually find the opposite. The ones where you just lose are actually the most satisfying games to play, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but if you play a lot of cooperative games, you probably agree that it's not necessarily the winning that really matters. It's how close to it you get almost. Okay, you want a cardboard beard? Okay, maybe for a different game. Yeah, you're right, Thor. It's 145 backers to go, 144 even. Wrong way. I can really get confused by this whole mirror thing until we get to the number 2 spot and unlock those jungle start and exit tiles for Kickstarter exclusive. So Jake, again, my business partner here, is just trolling me in the comments right now. Been meaning to ask you, what did your parents say when you told them you were turning down a job to do ITB full time? So yeah, I did do that. I got offered a really good job and I decided to turn it down to make board games full time, and don't regret it in the slightest. Yeah, if you want to know what that job is that I gave up, come and ask me on a Wednesday night at London on Board, and I'll happily tell you. It's a bit weird for me to do it online, talking to 500 people. Losing co-op is fun. Yes, it is. Will you have the Dinosaur Steampunk idea at UK Games Expo? Hopefully, yeah. We're not sure. Obviously, we don't want to take it there if it's not something that's reasonably developed. But that's the plan. Okay, what else we got here? Any renders of the diorama yet? Unfortunately not. It just take quite a while to finish off. But when we've got it, we'll pop it in an update for everyone. How different is each game from the next? Very. The structure of the cave system makes the game. The varying decisions you've got to make to The interactions between the different hazard types and the sort of the narrative of the different hazards being resolved in whatever order, whatever combination of tiles really makes the feel of the game. Creates new puzzles every time. So kind of imagine it's like, on a really basic level, like Sudoku puzzles. If you do one Sudoku puzzle, it's satisfying to do the puzzle, but you always want to do a different one or a harder one. That's kind of what Sub Terra is like in a sense. It's a really interesting thematic puzzle that you're trying to solve every time. You're trying to escape. You're trying to find the different X's stuff, but the whole shape of the puzzle changes every single time you play it. So it's pretty variable. In terms of the expansions, what they do is it adds. Does the geologist control the exit tile? Yes, if I understand your question. So if the geologist, because the geologist has a special ability where they always have one tile next to their player board. And when they would normally draw a tile, instead of just placing it straight down, they put it next to the one they've got next to the player board, and then they choose one. So they can kind of intuit the way around the cave. That's the idea. So if they draw the exit tile, then as far as I'm aware, and Tim, if you're watching, tell people if I'm talking rubbish, but then you'll be able to place the exit tile basically as you want to. Obviously, the disadvantage of waiting to do that is that you're going to get close to the out of time card and it's going to hurt. Not literally. When will we see the sample artwork that has been unlocked? Pretty soon. We've got most of it done already, but we just wanted to make sure it was kind of all done to get out there. So we'll pop it in an update. Are the new start and exit tiles replacing the original, or we ended up with about 4 start and exit tiles? You end up with the extras. So these are Kickstarter exclusives, so we'll give you a little pack of cool stuff that no one else is going to get. Thanks, Chad. Did you manage to find someone to translate the rules to Klingon? Yes, someone did offer. They haven't finished it, but they did offer to do it. You have me at Steampunk Dinosaurs. You just wait. You just wait. It's going to be cool. Someone has said fish. Not sure why. And then someone has replied to it about the same person with 3 fish emoticons. Odd. About when we'll see the first player token, it's kind of low priority at the moment, as you can imagine. We want to get the core content finished. It's basically going to be a rock with Sub Terra stamped in the side of it. Throws. Ooh, big lag. Okay, just sound check. Everyone hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, I'm going to assume on the basis that no one is saying anything. Okay. Oh, yeah, Mother says it's okay. It's all good. No, Adam, not a real rock. That would put the shipping price up. It's going to be mega nice. That looks like a rock and feels like a rock, but isn't an actual rock, I think. Is there a recommended character to play for the first time? No. Simple answer. There isn't. They're all fun to play with. They're all easy to understand. It's been engineered that way on purpose. There is no specific character, however much you try, that will make the game impossible to win or impossible to lose. That is not how it works. It is not Pandemic with the medic. If any of you have played that game too many times to realize that. Which career would you like to choose? Depends what mood I'm in. I studied engineering, so occasionally I like to choose the engineer. I was a massive geology nerd when I was little. Sometimes I do the geologist. Sometimes I feel like being the alpha male character. So I go for the bodyguards. Sometimes I like to be the leader. It really depends. Just pick one random sometimes. When do you think we'll receive the game? When do I think is a very different question to when do I expect? Realistically, we're looking around about June, July. If something goes horribly wrong, it could be later. Worst case scenario is November. Worst case scenario. That would be stuff going really badly wrong. Massive delays in manufacturing, or the boat gets stuck in the middle of the ocean or something. But yeah, I mean, basically it should be pretty soon, pretty quick turnaround, hopefully. That's a cool question. So this is from Adam. What do you look for in a board game pitch, and what drew you to Sub Terra? So for those of you who don't know, Sub Terra was pitched by Tim at the UK Games Expo last year in the summer, and it's a kind of there was an event called the Wyman's Lair. It's basically for US and UK audiences. It's kind of like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, which is the American equivalent. The idea of the TV show is that there's a bunch of like investors and you go pitch your idea and then they give you money. It's kind of like the Wyman's Lair thing at the UK Games Expo is basically a toned down version of that, where there are a bunch of people from the industry, so people like myself from the sort of indie end of the spectrum, all the way up to Christian Peterson, who runs Fantasy Flight Games and designs stuff like the Game of Thrones board game and Twilight Imperium, stuff like that, and is really rich. And was sat right next to me, which is kind of cool, and has made a bunch of games. And there was Osprey Games, Breakout Games, Mayfair Games, what else was that? Osprey, Spiral Galaxy. Yeah, I think that was that one. But yeah, so basically a panel of judges and people come pitch their ideas, and that's when we saw Sub Terra. And what we saw in it was the amount of thought that had been put into it. Every aspect of the game, as it was at that point, had been carefully thought through. There was an objective, and Tim stuck hard to that objective. He was like, this is the kind of game I want to make, and these are the tools I've got, and every decision I make going forward has got to be linked back to that objective. How do I make this the best possible game that meets those objectives? And that's what really caught us, was that Tim had a really like a studious work ethic when it came to designing the game. He really took it on as an engineering challenge rather than as just kind of hobby project. Which is why we really like the look of it, and we love the theme. The game style was nice. It was an accessible gateway game feel without being kind of simplified. So yeah. So what do we look for in a game pitch? You've done your homework, basically. And for us personally, like for ITB, we're looking for something that challenges people a little bit, either in terms of the game itself being something a bit unusual, a bit different. Or something that has a little bit more sort of meaning behind it. So for those of you joining us from Statecraft as well, you know that I'm big into my politics, I'm big into dystopia, all into that kind of stuff. And those are the kind of games that we really like to do, the ones that have a lot of meaning behind them. Discuss an issue. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be just things like fear, like Sub Terra. But that's the kind of stuff we want to do. So a question from Christian, have you thought about creating a build your own cave system for a future expansion? No, but that sounds interesting. I will ask Tim. Okay. No, or repeat the expansions bit? No, was basically the answer. Can you use the expansion characters on the base game, or are they only worth using on the expansion? That doesn't really make sense, because you wouldn't play those characters with the core game. But yeah, so to answer that, yeah, it basically only makes sense if you use the expansion rules with the expansion characters, because the interactions between the new mechanics and the character are what makes that work well. Yeah, so Sophia says, if you want to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, it'd be really helpful. Get close to those social goals. We're getting really, really close. We're 120 backers away from getting to 119 backers away from getting to the number 2 spot. Are we going to Essen? Yes. I'm planning on setting up a big group from the UK. Basically call myself like a UK Games Board or something like that. We're going to organise a big massive stand like the Arctic Union, Polish Publishing League, Korea Pavilion, that kind of stuff. We're going to be doing a big British one with loads of British designers, big and small, and publishers, obviously. Yeah, so we'll be there. Hopefully we'll be there with Sub Terra, with Statecraft, and hopefully with Newspeak as well, and maybe some interesting new stuff. What games are you excited about that are coming out this year? Not made by ITB. Okay, fair enough. That's a really good question. What games am I looking forward to that are coming out? I guess like not so much coming out, but like the ones I'm looking forward to getting in the collection pretty soon is Anachrony by Mind Clash Games. It looks really pretty. It's a heavy Euro game with a lot of theme, which is not something you see very often. and I really like that. And the production value is absolutely stellar, and I know the designer as well, which is nice. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Also, another one, Starving Artists, another Kickstarter title. I really like the idea of that one. It's basically you have cards which are like classical paintings with little coloured acrylic cubes where they're like drops of paint, and the idea is you set collection kind of thing of like getting the right colour paint to make all these masterpieces. It's really simple, but it just looks brilliant. Like it's just really nice looking game, really something nicely thought out thing. Okay. Kevin Moore, are the polyhedral dice in the £15 Dyson bag add-on actually used in the game, or are they just called dice for use in other games? Just cool dice. Like, we spent a lot of time designing the stuff for the D6, so we thought, why not do a few more and see if people want it? That's simple to that. Will 3D molded game tokens be included in the core game? Yes. What would it mean for me to reach #2 UK rank on Kickstarter? Like, honestly, huge amount. Like, we started this off with Molecular with 500 backers, like 550 backers or something. You know, a lot of those were our friends and family, you know, which was amazing. You know, the fact that even our friends and family had enough faith in us to support the stuff was pretty awesome. We did Statecraft, and 1,000 people, well, 1,018 backers we got in the end, backed the game, and that was amazing. Like, so many people liking the idea that we put together. It was just an incredible feeling. With this one, getting to that #2 spot, what that means to us is that we've managed to make something that isn't just something that we convince our friends to get. You know, it's something that people really like and really like the idea of. And what that means to us is that, you know, we've kind of validated that we can make something cool, and that means that, you know, we've got that confidence to go ahead and make the next thing. So it really means a huge amount to us that many people have the faith in us to keep making cool stuff. You know, because backing the project doesn't just mean we've made Sub Terra. You know, it means we've got enough in the budget, keep the lights on, keep doing events, keep doing game titles, keep coming to conventions, and just keep being in the games industry doing cool stuff. So it really means a huge amount. It means I can have my dream job working in the creative industry. Hope you reach #2. Me too. When you were talking about the expansions earlier, the audio cut off. Can you repeat them and how they changed the game? Yeah, sure. So basically going in kind of order, investigation, it adds discoverable items. So there are tiles in the stack that are like the skeletons of previously fallen cavers, and you can get item cards, which are kind of one-off or kind of like reaction abilities. They're kind of similar to your player abilities, but a lot more limited. Which is pretty cool. And the extraction one, the second one, is like kind of militarized return to the cave. And you have a kind of the exit tile and work your way into the cave and try to destroy the nexus of the filthy horrors, whatever has been lurking in there. Yeah, so that's it really. I mean, if you want to see more Star Wars, there's loads more on the campaign. I don't want to take up too much time going through that. Cheeky bit of product placement. Okie dokie. Next one. Like the sound of the art game doing art history next year. Thanks, Bob. Okay. Should there be a time limit using an hourglass to play turns in order to accelerate the pace of all these sluggish games? We've never needed to. There's enough complexity in the decision making that it makes it interesting, but not so much that you get analysis paralysis. Like, there's not so many things. It's never obvious what you need to do, but you're always able to intuit what you think you should be able to do, like relatively easily. But yes, there will be an option for that in the app now that we've unlocked all the features. So just be a simple timer. Have you all started filming the documentary? Not yet, but we've got a plan. As with everything, you know, although we never actually expected a lot of these stretch goals to happen, we've had a plan for every single one of them, just in case. You know, it's a sensible thing to do. just in case things do go crazy. Just funding. Don't get too optimistic about what things can happen. You're going to work out, if you just get enough funding, can you actually make it happen? And what happens if it funds crazy big and it's out of control? Like, can you still deliver on the promises you made? So it's not a plan. But yeah, basically we're going to go down to China hopefully the next couple of weeks, meeting the factory manager, talking to the factory staff, looking at all the different processes they use in the factory, how you make cards, punch outs, boxes, all the print finishes, coins, wooden pieces, everything that we can manage to do, and then we'll hopefully do some interviews for the team members as well. I'm not sure that we can manage to get to Australia, Boston, China, Barcelona, Greece as well. We can get like absolutely everyone in the team. Hopefully get some like dial-ins by Skype or something. But yeah. Will the physical rulebook and components be localized or just able to download? So that all the rulebooks will be digital and they'll be available on the app. As well as just as downloads off the website and on Board Game Geek as well. So it'll just be completely all over the place. You'll be able to get them free. That's going to be fine. The game itself, there'll be no language components that you will need to have. The player boards will have English on one side and language independent symbology on the other, which will be referenced in the rulebooks. So basically, yeah, the whole game is language independent. On the back of the box, we'll have it in 3 languages, the blurbs and information, probably English, French, and German, or English, German, and Spanish. We're not quite sure which one that's going to be. And the printed rulebook will be in English. But we are working on hopefully some partnerships with publishers in different countries as well. In the very long term, that's like in a year's time kind of thing. The timing is unfortunately. So just to recap the Annihilation expansion, just because it seems like some people missed the audio on that one. The idea is you start in the exit tile and you go back into the cave, trying to find the nests of the horrors, blow them up, and get out before it explodes. And you get trapped inside the cave. We're just 100 away. We are literally 100 backers away, and people are rolling in. We have 1 hour left. Can we do it? Like, no idea. Okay. Getting mocked in the background by my partner. She's laughing at me while reading Sherlock Holmes. It's a hilarious stereotype in itself. Have you thought of making each character have 2 possible abilities like betrayal? Could add interesting parts of gameplay. We haven't investigated that many more gameplay things during the campaign, other than just chatting through a few ideas, just because we didn't want to put anything untested in. But I could do a side play on that. Yeah, so you mean actually it could be cool, but I think we haven't really put that much time into doing that because we want to keep the core gameplay really tight. Wait, no printed rulebook. Yes, don't worry. The rulebook will be printed in English. Don't worry. It'll just be the non-English ones that'll be available online. How does ITB assess an individual's ability to contribute to your projects? Artists, writers, designers. That's a really good question, actually. So it really depends on what it is we're asking them to do. So if we're asking people to do a specific bit of writing, what we do is we write down a plan, basically, of what we're trying to achieve with that thing. What are our objectives with the project? So say we want someone to write us the script for the Sub Terra video. It might be like, okay, well, we want to be able to communicate what the game is, the feel of the game. What will players feel like when they're playing the game, or what do we want them to feel like? And we want that feeling in the text and in the kind of the intonation that they're using. So it's basically about writing down very clearly for the person doing it, what it is we want them to do, without knowing who that person is. So trying to basically cover every possible interpretation of the thing, so that whoever it is that's doing it, provided they've got some good level of ability in that field, can then do the thing. If it's something where there's no obvious way to check if they've done the good things, we usually take applications and assess each one. We'll ask people to produce a short or a small amount of work, basically to show us what they can do. So it might be a really simple sketch or a couple of lines of text, or something like that, kind of similar to the kind of backer challenges. And then we go from there. Really, is we assess each one based on their ability, on the kind of their creative match with the project and that kind of thing. Yeah, so just to respond to Corey, there will be a paper rulebook. It will be in English. All of the rulebooks will be digital. How big are horrors compared to minis? They're the same size as the same size bases as the main characters. Any plans for more expansions? Wait and see. Will the update frequency be like after the campaign? What will the frequency? So what we did on Statecraft was basically we did a big update straight after, kind of wrap up everything, give everyone all the info they need. There'll be another one that talks about the Pledge Manager when that goes live. There'll probably be another one towards the end of the Pledge Manager life cycle to tell everyone that it's going to be ending soon. I mean, you have to get your shipping details in there. Bear in mind, everyone that's watching, make sure everyone knows this. Once the Pledge Manager is closed, you will not be able to update your shipping details. We'll give you a reasonable amount of time. There'll be several weeks, but you've got to get it in there because we really don't want you not getting your game. So make sure as soon as that Pledge Manager opens, you get your shipping details in there. If there's any horrible last-minute reasons why you need to change your shipping details, we'll try our best. But yeah, you really need to get on it quickly, and then we can get everyone's stuff there really fast. But after that, we'll talk about an update in the long term, like once a month or once every kind of half a month, like fortnight even, depending on if there's something actually interesting to say. Because like, there's not really much point giving you an update if there's nothing to say. It's just a bit boring and a bit spammy. But yeah, usually there's stuff to say every month, so we'll check you in then. Is there just one glow-in-the-dark die? Yeah, so it was basically a cave-in dice at that point. I think this Q&A is a great idea and a nice touch. Please keep this for other big projects. Thanks. I really enjoy doing it. I really like this feature. We first did it with Statecraft. Well, 500. Oh, so close, so close. Well, that pick is horrifying. You took it on my face. That's really sad. Hey, what social goals are achieved? Lag. Okay, I'm going to check. Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, 90 backers away. Can we do it? Oh, so close. Okay. So, as an update to everyone, we've got 1,679 likes on the Facebook, and we have 2,407 followers on the Twitter. So it looks like we're probably not going to get there, but if we get a massive burst, we will make it. So we're going to get about 1,300 and a bit likes left to go on the Facebook. Really, every single one does matter. It means more people know about our stuff next time we launch a game. We'll know about all the Sub Terra stuff more easily, and it means we can get the word out there a lot more efficiently in the early days of the campaign, and really be able to tell how many people want the game. If it's not something that people want, then it's best for us to know early on, so we can move on to something better. I want 6666 backers. Fair enough. That would be slightly terrifying, but yeah. Reveal the mystery social stretch goal. We've got to get the other ones first, though, Adam. That's the issue. We've got to get the other ones first. So we've unlocked 2 so far. So we've got the number 3 spot, and what was the other one? Remind me what the other one was. there's a number 3 spot. Oh, it was the Board Game Geek Hot List. So we got onto the Board Game Geek Hot List this morning. So that was the second one. We get the Facebook likes or the Twitter follows, or we get the number 2 spot. Then we'll get that second set of start and exit titles. Okay, what else we got on here? Got any more Q&A questions? I think that's all of them. Sticky. If we reach number 2 of most bats, we will get the social goals because you love us. Yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, how did the Reddit one work as it's put? Yeah, the Reddit one we just had to abandon, which is why, like, obviously I'm happy to do the number 2 spot thing. basically because we were originally going to do the AMA on /board games, but then the mods on /board games decided that they'd rather we didn't do it on there, because we're a company, and for whatever reason they didn't think that was kind of fitting within the community there, so they directed us to the Ask Me Anything group instead. Hopefully, Thor, I really hope so, like, really hope so. Well, we've got another 87, let's go, 86 even. It's nail-bitingly close. Like, this is like this on the Statecraft campaign where we were like getting towards 1,000 backers at the end, and I promised 3, it was something ridiculous, like 3 stretch goal unlocks or something mad in the campaign, and yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen, and then it did right at the last minute, and it was completely nail-biting. We had about half an hour left to go. It looks like this one's going to be even closer. Yeah, number 2 spot is social goals. You all heard him there. Well, yeah, we go. Let's get to it. So let's get sharing. You know, Facebook, on Twitter, on Reddit, on Pinterest, Instagram, places on the internet where people like to look at things about board games. What's the difference between the Leaper and the normal horror? So the Leapers are part of the Extraction expansion, and they're basically faster, kind of like explosive horrors in that they run and do damage, but then they disappear immediately, whereas the normal horrors will carry on. So they're kind of nasty, but kind of one-shot horrors. What is the average turn length? I actually don't know off the top of my head. I mean, it really depends, because like the number of player turns is roughly, or caver turns is roughly the same for every game. But I haven't actually measured specifically looking at the player turns themselves. In terms of magic game length, it's about an hour. Sort of 45 minutes to just over an hour. Well, back as you haven't played probably, yeah, we've looked at that one already. Do you have a creating background, or does the game thing come from a personal interest? Kind of a bit of both, really. Like, I've always been into games. I've spent a lot of my sort of teenage years with Warhammer and the Lord of the Rings miniatures game as well. Like a lot of time and all of my money. But yeah, it was a bit of a money and time sink, much like board games. But it was great. But yeah, so I've always been into kind of the hobby in general. Starting off in that sense. Played a lot of the Warhammer IP board games like Chaos in the Old World, as I mentioned before. And I've always been into the family board games as well. Like me and my mum used to play this one called Bandarin, which is like this Chinese Zodiac set collection game. You have this like cool little like pagoda building thing, which had a lever on the side. These little tiles came out. It was really cool. Yeah, so that's kind of my interest has always been there in board games. It's just kind of Thirsty Meeples kind of rekindled that for me. In terms of like creative stuff, I trained as an engineer, so I've got a lot of experience in designing things and working out how to make a system work, which can be really helpful for game design, because it's effectively just it's a system, and it's a kind of economic-y, mathsy system at the end of the day, as well as being an artistic project. The artistic stuff's purely interest basically, but the other stuff's kind of more kind of where my background is. Do you already have pictures of the Leaper miniatures, or will they be the same as horror? They'll be similar to horrors, but not the same. Could you talk a little bit about the 3 expansions, last minute backer, and I'd like some info if possible? So I will quickly run through them. Nuke-Morningstar, So investigation, you have discoverable items where you can uncover tiles that are skeletons of previous cavers, and you can use one-shot abilities that are similar to caver abilities. And you have a new character, the agent, who has a bunch of items to start with. Number 2, which is the extraction expansion, introduces a mechanic where one person is more vulnerable, but you need to get them out to win, and also introduces the Leapers, which are nasty versions of the horrors. Number 3 is, and I don't know why I'm holding 4 fingers, but number 3 is the Annihilation expansion, where you start at the exit tile and you work your way into the cave rather than out of it to deliver bombs to certain weak sites in the cave system, blow them up, but try and escape before doing so. So the out of time card is replaced with an explosion card. Okay, that was the really, really like quick overview. If you want some more info, it's on the campaign page. Campaign page will still be there when the campaign is over, don't worry. Or it will be fixed in stone forever. Hello, blah, blah, blah. What are all the different kinds of horrors, including all expansions? There's just horrors and leapers. That's it. 1 second. All the talking is making me really hoarse. Oh dear. How do you feel the downtime? I'm not sure I quite understand. If you mean fill downtime, I play a lot of Ticket to Ride online. Like a lot, like too much, like way too much. So we need another 74 backers in the next 49 minutes. Could happen. Okay, what I'm going to do briefly, guys, is I am going to share the Kickstarter link about all the usual places one last time, just to see if we can hit it. It would be really great to hit that number 2 spot. So I'm just going to copy the link. I'm going to fire it in the comments. Here we go. So that link right there, that'll take you to the main page. If you want. If you want to share it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, Pinterest. I don't think you can do that on Pinterest, but anyway, on social media stuff, email it to a friend, whatever, and see if we can get the backer numbers up. Even if they're just pledging for £1, it's really great just to get people on board. Really, even at this last minute, it's really cool. So I'm just going to tweet this out. Okay, help us get to the number 2 most backed UK tabletop project. And I'm just going to pop a thing on the Facebook. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, done that. Okay. The speed new backers are coming in will push us past 6590. I really hope so. It'd be really cool. Right at this last minute. Will the expansions be available for retail after? Yeah, it will. Unfortunately, it'll be a bit more expensive though, but they will be available. Congrats from Brazil. Great game of that. Thanks. That's pretty cool. Me and social media don't get on well by teacher. Fair enough. So the game comes with UV light, meaning that the tiles are reacted to black light. Yes, they are. Enjoy. You have to keep the speed steady and it will work. Yeah, hopefully. Oh. Yeah, so we got got all sorts of fun tweets coming in from people. Yeah, if you want to send us a Twitter message or anything like that, we're just on @ITB Board Games. Someone's literally just posted that, Sophia -NGO. It's just posted the Facebook and Twitter links there. Is the collector's box half empty without minis? No, the minis take up like not very much space in the top because it's basically just a flat insert at the top of the box. And we'll just put foam in there or something. So it's not going to look empty at all without the miniatures in there. Stefan just became backer 6523. Welcome, Stefan. Welcome to the darkness. Okay, what else we got? Any more questions? I mean, I'm in here till midnight, guys, so feel free to just like chuck any random questions at me. Anything. Let's do a kind of like live video, ask me anything thing just to kill the time. Me here with my product placement. What cailers, in your opinion, work the best together, including expansions? I don't want to answer that question because there shouldn't be any combination. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you which ones I like to work as a combination. So I personally really like having the scout and the bodyguard with 2 others. So the scout's really good at just kind of forging ahead and finding new routes, and the bodyguard's really good at kind of like tanking behind, protecting other people from the hazards, while the scout just kind of goes off and finds different bits. It's just about my personal play style, but yeah, I really like doing that. When can we hear a sample of the soundtrack? Soon. When Wahima has finished it, We will send it out to everyone by MP3, and it'll also be part of the app as well. It's really good. Just going to put it out there. I've heard a bit of it, and it's awesome. Will the graphic novel cover the story of all expansions? Some, but which? Who knows? Will the collector's box have organizers to easily pack and unpack the game? Yes, it will. It'll all be pre-sorted as well. Pardon me. Are the 3D tokens included in the Veterans Pledge? Yes, they are. Anything that includes the core game will have them. So basically every pledge, except the £1 ones, obviously. Can you recommend any design resources that have used to help design board games? This is going to sound weird, but I wouldn't. Reason being, like, board game design is too specific a thing if you want to make a really good game. One thing is really worth understanding is what games are. Like what if you really boil them down, like what are they? And ultimately they're about social interaction, and they're about decision making. That's kind of the two kind of core parts of any game, or at least what we think of as games in the kind of the hobby games industry. You talk about play interaction, social elements, or like take that mechanics and all that kind of stuff. It's all really kind of interactive stuff, social interaction between people, and then incentives and decision making within the system that you're interacting with, either directly or indirectly through the players. So really, in terms of stuff that I'd recommend to learn to get a grasp on, at least get a tool set to start making games. I'd read up on game theory, stupid as that sounds, but mathematical or economic game theory. There's loads of really cheap like textbooks and stuff you can get on Amazon that are like for like first year undergrads. If anyone who's doing like a little bit of maths, they should be fine. And there's probably other resources as well out there that be able to explain the concepts. Wikipedia, to be honest, if you haven't done the maths. And in terms of like the sort of the social elements, like basically even just stuff like Wikipedia articles on decision making, how people can affect other people's decision making based on what they do or say. So it's like if we were in a general election or something, and I said to someone next to me, I'm voting for this person, does that affect the way they vote? If they think that you're voting a particular way? The answer is yes, it usually does. And sometimes it affects them to the extent that they will vote the same way, or they'll vote for a different person than they originally thought. Sometimes it doesn't. But that whole dynamic is really interesting. There's a lot of really interesting sort of behavioral psychology that goes behind that. You never have to get like that crazy into it to make a game. Like I'd probably just terrify the lot of you. But those are kind of vague ideas that it's worth understanding. What were the influences for Sub Terra games in the media? The Descent, the film, Aliens, a lot of co-op board games like Forbidden Island and Pandemic. Tim's a better person to answer that than me, really, and you probably see him in the comments sometimes. So I'll answer that question, actually. So have we blasted through all the listed stretch goals? Yeah, yesterday, like crazily. When do you think we'll be able to show us the examples of 3D tokens? Probably by the end of the week. This game looks like a gamier version of Escape. I don't know what that is, but cool. Will the player matching dice come in their corresponding box altogether? They'll be in with whatever. So if they're in the veterans pledge, will obviously be in their respective expansions boxes. If it's in the collectors, they'll be pre-sorted into the right area of the insert. Do you think Tim is smiling right now? I'd imagine so. Yeah. We've done pretty well. He's been an absolute asset to the team. He's going to get a good reward from this project. So I imagine he's smiling right now. If you're there, Tim, hello. Yeah, pretty much. Mark, Escape, Carcassonne, Forbidden Island, Desert mashup. I'm guessing all 3 expansions wouldn't fit in the core game box. Yeah, it's not going to happen. That's why we did the collector's box. It would make yeah, the alt art exit and start tiles are just fun extra artwork. Okay. Oh, we're so close. 61 backers away. Okay. Oh, hello. There's Tim. He is confirmed he is smiling with a smiley face. yeah, if anyone has any gameplay questions, now that Tim is mysteriously on the scene, then there we go. Everyone's saying hi to him now. Feel free to pop questions in for there. I will, now that Tim is online, I'll leave those questions to him, and I'll answer the other ones. Yep, you're absolutely right, Thor. Tim has made a fantastic game. Another question from Newt Morningstar. Will there be a pledge manager? Yes, there will be. There's so many add-ons and stuff that we need to have one to manage the whole process. What are we 61 backers away from? Unlocking another one of the social goals, which is another alternate art start and exit tile, which will be jungle themed this time. So you'll have the regular one, you'll have the desert one, you'll have the jungle themed one, and the frozen themed one if that happens, which would be really cool. And then we'd be number 2 most backed project in the UK for tabletop games, which is really cool. Right behind Dark Souls, which is an absolutely massive project, which is really cool. Yeah, so to Tim to say that the influences behind the project in terms of like games and films, he said the Descent films, which you should definitely watch, they're great. Pandemic, Forbidden Games, all that stuff. So how many minis, Caver and Horror, are there in total in the Deluxe Plus Horror Mini add-on? 17. So there are 8 core miniatures for the 8 characters, 3 for the expansions characters, and 3 horrors and 3 leapers. So 17 in total. Is there a list of the social goals? I think I missed them. It's on one of the last updates, if you go on there. Are you considering a French version for your game, cards included? And if so, do you already have someone to do it? So the cards aren't going to have text on them now. We decided against that to make it easier for people to play in other languages. And we'll just have the explanations in the digital translated rulebooks. And we already have it translated in French. So you can play it straight out of the box with the French rulebook on your phone. On the app or online, downloaded, printed out, however you like it. How close are we now? We need, so close, 56 more to go. So close. Okay, sorry if this is already asked. What's your favorite stretch goal? Yeah, so I said like my favorite one that's going in the box is definitely the horror minis, just because of how excited I was on the campaign to get everyone involved in helping us actually design the game. It's not very often you get a chance to do that, so we were pretty lucky in that respect. But in terms of like overall, I think the app, just because it was such a crazily high goal, and it's going to add a lot of cool features to make the game experience more immersive, which is really fun. Hey, Mike, you're recording a podcast. Oh, cool. We need to do another one at some point. This is Mike Barnes. You can see him on the comment section from Who Dares Rolls. He did one of the earliest interviews with me back at UKGE in 2016. Where I had what someone else called a froth of beard. I was a lot more beardy back then. Can you upgrade your pledge in the back kit? Yes, you can. Did you just say the horror miniatures are included in the deluxe edition? No, so the horror miniatures are an add-on. We were just talking about the total number of miniatures if you get them all. Did you have an estimate before you launched? No, I just didn't really know, to be honest. After the first day, we had an idea. I was really optimistic, and I said 250,000, and everyone thought I was mad. If any of you saw that tweet of that whiteboard of all our guesses on, because we were all feeling really optimistic, we got about 100,000 more than that. So it was a little bit better than what we thought. Really, we were looking at best case scenario of like 50,000, 60,000 pounds. So it's got a bit better than we thought. Okay, are we counting down backers for something cool? Yes, we are, Donny, for more alternate art, start and exit tiles, which would be pretty cool. Just some extra thematic bits to chuck into your Kickstarter exclusive pack. Will the closing of the Kickstarter campaign party get any crazier than all the soft drinks behind you? No, there's nothing crazier than a meter-high stack of Dr. Pepper Zero. Okay, yes, Richard, you can have the beards. Okay, you can have them. There you go. I have announced to 410 people on the internet that you can have the beards. They will be in the sticker pack. You can put them on your meeples if you'd like. Happy. Okay. Yes, the meeples are in the deluxe edition too. Where the miniatures don't replace them; they're just there as well. So if you want to use the meeples, you can. If you want to use the miniatures, you can. They're always included. The meeples, that is. Do the Colour mini clips come on and off easily. Yeah, you just kind of pull them off, quite easy to clip on. When did the expansions release retail and what will they sell for? About £14. So they're about £5 more expensive than they are on the Kickstarter, but around about the same price as sort of comparable stuff in your local game store. Seeing the sponsor thing. Hooray, beards! Okay. Yeah, as Jonathan has just noted, you know, number 2 tabletop game in the UK would be cool, but we're actually already in the top 70 in the world, which is kind of crazy. Like, I mean, you're pretty much looking at the whole of ITV right now. Like, you know, we're not a big company. You know, I'm here full time all the time, and you know, we have Jake obviously helping us out with all the legal work and helping, you know, with retail deals and distribution deals and stuff. Matthew helps sometimes with playtesting and stuff, and obviously we've got people like Zach and Tim and David, two Davids and Nasos that have joined us for this project. But we're not a big company, and so this is absolutely massive for us, like absolutely massive. You want a shaver too. Not sure we'll get that through customs, but we'll try. Who knows? Is it possible to have a game with 7 or 8 players? And we never, like Tim. Yeah, so literally just answer that question about as I was about to jump in, but yeah, so we're going to have a look basically and see, because it's not something we really envisage people would want, to be honest. Sorry, Peter, self-promotion. I have a beard. Who does rolls? Like, seriously, Mike, put your link in the description. People want to know about your podcast. Like, put your link in here. Yeah, everyone, look at the Who Dares Rolls site and listen to podcasts. They're really fun. But yeah, they're really good. And obviously as well, we're not wizards who've been doing the interviews each week with us. Okay. Can I play this at Aircon with you and compare beards? Yeah, that can happen. For those of you who don't know, Aircon's like a regional games convention up in the north of England that's happening in a couple of weeks. There we go. So click this link, everyone. Click this. Maybe after the campaign, but click this link now, or put it in a new tab or something, and have a good listen to those podcasts on your way to work tomorrow. Yes, Dave, I'm aware my beard is not great at the moment. It's not as frothy and magnificent as it once was. And yeah, happy birthday, Dave Rotherall, by the way. And thank you for your kind words. Any chance of 3D print files for the minis for backers? Unfortunately not, but we will be doing some cool stuff with 3D printing, hopefully in the future, so watch the space. Can I have a beard for my birthday? Well, considering your back, Dave, you're going to be getting tiny beard stickers to put on your meatballs. So the answer to that question is yes. Okay, how far are we away now? We are 42 backers away with 32 minutes left. Oh, this is so close. Oh, this is crazy. And as you can see, the more stressed I'm getting, the more silly my hair's getting. Yeah, as we said before, guys, if you wanted to ask any questions at all about, you know, the process behind what we've been doing, any random questions you really want to ask me, I'm here for the next half an hour just to sit and chat with you. So anything you might want to ask, just go for it. Can you use multiple expansions at once? Yes. It's really late and I want to go to bed, but I want to see this cross number 2. Stay up with us. It's going to be really fun. I am really tired, although I do have my product placement caffeine drink. 42 backers. It does look like we're pretty close. We're pretty close. What were we? 30. Was it 39? Oh, I can't add. I really can't add. 40. Now we need 39. Thank you, James, for making that easy for me. Oh. No, it's gone up. I'm getting updates on the little screen in the corner. Okay, 42 backers to what? Sorry, I've been here 5 minutes. Hey, Feel My Geek. That's really interesting name you got there. Yeah, so when we hit 6,591 backers, we're officially the number 2 most backed project in the UK for tabletop games, which is really, really big for us. So yeah, when we get there, we're going to unlock another social goal, add some more Kickstarter exclusive into everyone's Kickstarter exclusives pack. Strategically, which character is your favorite to play? For a challenge, just because it requires a bit more thinking, I like to play with the geologist, because you're presented with something that feels like an advantage. Well, I mean, it is an advantage, but if you misplay it, it can be the reverse. So I really like to play the geologist. It's a bit more unusual, and similarly, it's about the diver. If you spend too much time faffing around, jumping in and out of puddles, you're not going to have a great time in terms of getting out of that cave. But it is a really powerful thing. You need to use carefully. So to be fair, I could say the same sort of thing about every character, really. But those are the two that kind of pique my interest the most strategically. No, so Death to Sprues, nice name. No, you still get the meeples in every pack. The miniatures don't replace them; they just added to them. Okay. Do I hear Mum in the back? No, that's my partner. My mum's about 300 miles north, although she is floating around the comment section still, I think. If you're out there, Mum, say hello. Any chance? Let's see. Oh, not yet. She might go to bed. Okay. What is this about steampunk dinosaurs? So one of our upcoming games, this is probably something that's going to be launched in 2018, so it's quite a while off. We summarized it as steampunk dinosaurs big. If I do this kind of thing, you get the idea. Big box of stuff. It's going to involve steampunk and dinosaurs, engine building and exploration and all sorts of fun things. It's got to be bigger than the Scythe. Let's put it that way. And really cool. And lots of funky art. And lots of interesting stuff going on. Hey, there we go. Mum's saying hello. Peter's mum. There we go. How did you handle the arts element the first game you made? That's a really cool question. So with Molecular, because neither me and Matthew have really much in the way of art skills, we went for a really simple graphic design style. So there's no illustration, no paintings in the game. It's just very, very simple vector art. So just shapes basically in sort of patterns and stuff. So basically tried to use what skills we had to the best effect. And then with Statecraft, we hired Zach Eidsvog, who's working on Sub Terra as well, who does absolutely amazing vector graphic art, as well as just incredible information communication stuff through game design as well. You talked a bit about cave and horror movies. What's your favorite horror book and short story? That's a good question. So I was a massive sucker for the Goosebumps books when I was little. One Christmas, I got a stack of them about this big off my brother. He gave me them. That's really cool. But I really like those, the kind of spooky stories. In terms of horror books, I haven't actually read any of that recently, to be honest. Not in the kind of classic horror genres either. Take my money for steampunk dinosaurs. Take it now. Unfortunately, we can't do that yet. But we'll give you a shout when we've got a little bit more to talk about on the project, and you can have a look. Are you looking to make more expansions to Sub Terra other than what is available now? We shall see. If you had to give one reason to get your game, what would it be? Consistently good experience. That's the core of Sub Terra. It's a good game. It's a really good game, and you're not going to be disappointed when you play it. And you're not going to be disappointed the second time either, or the third time. And even if you feel like you've got the most out of it, you can. There are the expansions that keep adding more in as well. And playing it with a different group plays differently. Playing it with different characters plays it differently. Playing it the second time plays it differently, just because the cave sort of exploration system. It's consistently a good game. And that's the reason that I think that a lot of people like it. Playing on Tabletopia and print and players and stuff, and it's never a bad time. Even if you completely trash it and you lose, it's still really good. Still really good to play. Okay, here we go. Let's see what else we got. I remember those ventriloquist Goosebump books. Oh my god, they were freaky. If you're trying to introduce the core plus expansions to your friends, in which order would you introduce the expansions? really depends on your game group, to be honest. I mean, the investigations one is probably good for you, kind of like your RPG people, just kind of discovering items and using these new things. Your extractions probably more like, let's say, like your FPS Xbox friends, that like those kind of like military kind of intervention type things. Your like annihilation one is kind of similar to that, and there's kind of like a time trial essentially, even though the whole game is essentially a time trial. But yeah, it really depends on the group. Like all the expansions have very different flavors to them, but they're not, no particular one's really complicated or really not complicated. So just have a look through them and see what you think. The rule sheets are only about 2-3 pages long, so like little pages, so not too bad. The rules tell how to deal hazards in a 4K game, so minimum cave count is 4. Yes, you always have at least 4 cavers, but it's 2 players is the minimum, so you just play with 2 cavers each. The number of languages available is striking. Yeah, we've been really lucky. A lot of people have given their time to the project, which has been really awesome. Who is the best gamer from your crew? It's not me. Like, it's not me. If any of you remember in St. Anthony, he beats me at most games. All of them. Apart from Ticket to Ride once. And I didn't even win that game. Someone else did. With regards to RPG dice, something RPG-wise, any more info you can share? Not at this particular point, but maybe soon. 25 backers in 25 minutes. You're so close. So close. 27 backers now. This is so close. This is so close. Will you do a lottery playthrough in Tabletopia? Yeah, can be. Can you use expansions characters in a regular game? They should only really be used with the expansions, otherwise it doesn't really work very well. Hey, Feel My Geek, you joined the club. Awesome. So close. From comments, are there plans for the dioramas to be made more cave-like, larger, more rounded back boulders and water for diver? That was like a really basic sketch. So yeah, basically it'd be like a cave, essentially. So it'd be like uneven, and there'd be like bits of rock coming out and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, thanks to Emily for drawing that one, because my drawing skills are pants. Okay. Batteries at 4%. Let's see if we can get those next 25 backers in the time. No. Yeah, sorry. So thanks to Sim for clarifying that one. So you can use the expansions characters in all games. 6.5. So yeah, now we've got our last sort of 20 minutes or so, guys. Any more questions for us? Just chuck them in, and we'll do our best to answer. Is there a secret stretch goal for going specifically 63K past 300K? Honestly, we ran out of ideas. Like, this has gone so much bigger than what we thought it could possibly do, that we were like digging in the crazy ideas notebook, trying to find things like crazy old plans that we'd come up with from ages ago. Like, we've been astounded by how much we've done. We haven't got any more stretch goals for us to unlock, but we do have the social goals, which are planned in as well. So if we do get there, hopefully within the next 20 minutes, we'll be able to announce that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to help make that happen, the best thing you should do is share the Kickstarter link on Facebook, Facebook groups, on your Facebook page, on Twitter. Tag in a friend who you think might like it. Even if they're just back for £1, it helps us get that back number up, and hopefully get us into the number 2 spot in the UK, which would be really awesome. Be really, really awesome. Do you have more plans for a competitive mode? I'll leave that one to Tim. Hey, John. What's the biggest change you've made to the game from playtesting since signing it? I guess that's probably a good question for Tim, really. But I think for me, the thing that rings the bell on that one is originally we had hazard cards that were positive, So as everyone knows now, all housing cards are negative, and they're all do something horrible. But originally we had like hope cards in, so something that would make the horrors disappear or the floods disappear, kind of respite from the horrible things that the hazards were doing to you. But we decided to get rid of that in the end. It really threw the tone off. It made people hope too much. And we wanted people to feel tense when they were playing the game, feel like they really had to struggle to get their characters out. And that sense that there was something there to help them really kind of went against the tone we were trying to create with, like, there isn't anything there to help you, just each other. So yeah, we took that out. And that was quite a big sort of shift in terms of content. Okay, we've got 20 backers left, 20 backers to go, and we are there, number 2 in the UK. Okay, will there be a way to get minis painted as an add-on? Unfortunately not, but the immersive edition does come with a fully painted set of miniatures. How do you make your name and profile pic appear in chat? As far as I'm aware, if you've got your profile pic on the Kickstarter profile, it should come up on the little bubbles here. If you're talking about, wait, can we do this? This one. Hey, there we go. This bit. Those are new backers that are coming. Keep doing it all around. Rebellion have the 2000 AD tabletop licenses of the graph. Just saying, after that. Mike, calm down. Okay. Okay. Yes. So just to clarify this, and you just cycle around, so you play it more as a puzzle than a social interaction thing. But it works effectively the same way. So it's quite flexible in that regard, that you can play 1 to 6 players with exactly the same set of rules. You don't need to have like a specific rule book for solo play, which takes the time to work out what's going on a lot further down. Yeah, we need 15 more in 18 minutes. We are getting so close. We need another 16 backers. Just 16 in 18 minutes. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. Let's see what we can do. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just putting a Facebook post up. Okay. Number 2 spots at unlock social stretch goals. Yeah, that's the one. So Mums was chiming in with I'm so stressed. Same here. The hamster in the wheel is not helping. So someone's just commented about Portuguese translations. Some people just requested a separate Brazilian Portuguese translation, so we did that one. Oh, it's so close. 14 backers. Just need 14 more. God. Okay, I'm just looking at the page now. It's just updated quickly. Just need 12 more backers, and then we'll be there. 12 more. Keep sharing on Facebook, on Twitter. 11 more, and then we'll be there. Okay, just looking. 9 more. 9 more backers. We're so close, guys. Keep sharing. Keep going, nagging your friends, get them to chuck a pound at the campaign. We should be able to get there. Hey Dax, if you just want to chuck a pound in, like, we appreciate absolutely everything. Even if you don't have the money right now, you can always jump in on the pledge manager later on. Still be a member of the campaign. You can still get that little picture on your Kickstarter profile. It's so close. Yeah, I'm rocking backward and forwards too, Tim. It's really stressful. Oh, just 9 more backers. 9 more. Oh, this is so tense. So tense. How many email addresses is my mum using? I have no idea. Thanks, Ian, for saying nice things about the game. Oh, so close, guys. We are so close. Oh, flipping heck. 6 more to go. 6 more backers. And then we are number 2 in the UK. Oh, we're so close. What if we end up tied at 6,590? I have no idea. 4 more. We need 4 more backers, guys. 4 more backers. What's the number 1 UK game? It's Dark Souls, and it has about 30,000 backers, so we're probably not going to get there. Welcome to Kickstarter, Jared. If this is your first project you backed, that's awesome. Okay. What do we got? Yeah. Dark Souls is a UK project by a company called Steam Forge Games. They do a lot of minis games. Cable. Sorry, my phone's just running out of battery. Oh. We did it! We did it! Woo! That's it, guys. We absolutely did it. We smashed it. This is amazing. 6,594 backers. We are officially the number 2 most backed project in the UK. The whole country. Board games. This is amazing. Ah, this is incredible. Oh, someone's just told us we are 60 in the world. We're the 60 most backed project in the entire world of all Kickstarters. 66, sorry. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Is UK a country? Yes, it is a sovereign nation. There's a voting member of the United Nations. If you look on Sporkle, that's the place to go for this kind of information. Fish and chips for everyone. If I could afford it as a stretch goal, I would throw it in. Let's get to 50 in the world. Yeah, let's see what we can do 10 minutes. Let's see if we can roll in some more backers, guys. Keep sharing. 6,598. Let's see if we can break another 2 to get the 6,600. Hey, maybe we'll even get to 4 6s and get that person's wish fulfilled. Do a backflip. I am not that nimble. I'm so sorry. Oh dear. But too soon. Too soon. We don't go. We just unlocked the jungle themed Kickstarter exclusive alternate art start and exit tile, which will be added to everyone's pledge in their Kickstarter exclusives pack, which will only be for Kickstarter backers and people that have been to conventions and stuff. So yeah, this is your first Kickstarter, Jose. That's amazing. Welcome. Yeah, so we've got all the social goal unlocked there, all the different alternate art start and exit tiles. They are done. We have 6,600 backers. We're on £367,053 of funding. This is absolutely colossal. This is so amazing. Okay. If anyone's got any more questions for us in the last sort of 10 minutes of the campaign, fire them along. What is actually exclusive in this Kickstarter? So we have 3 sets of alternate art start and exit tiles with different artwork on. And then we've got a Kickstarter exclusive out of time card as well, which will be the whole thing will put in a little pack for you. And that'll just be for the Kickstarter backers and the occasional people at conventions. You should give something special to backer number 6,591. Yeah, I might just do that. Nice and nice on the post. Will we reach 6,666? I don't know, but it'd be pretty cool if we do. I'm getting so many notifications on my phone right now. Okay, let's see what else we got going. will you do alternate artwork main tiles? Unfortunately not. So, because obviously that's a lot of extra work for David to do at the time. We're going to make sure we've got a really quick turnaround on manufacturing to get stuff for UK Games Expo and to get everyone's pledges out there quickly. Just looking at Kit Tracker, it's like a come on, yeah. So this is what's amazing about this. We're only really seeing this kind of like traction on a campaign on stuff like Cool Mini or Not and big miniatures projects, rather than our project, which it's got miniatures, but it's not a miniatures game per se, which is really awesome. And like we're just like so happy. Okay, is the diorama still going to be the same price in the Pledge Manager? Yes, the diorama will be. That's not going to go up in price at all. Here comes massive influx of backers. Yeah. Did you guys ever think Sub Terra would be this big before you brought it to KS? No, is the answer to that. Not the foggiest idea it would get this big. We thought it was going to do well. It's a really solid game. We put the time and effort into it, but like we did not think it was going to be this big. This is amazing. Yeah, we've got the jungle tile, James Paxton. Will you continue using Kickstarter for future projects? Yes, for the foreseeable future. We're not at the point yet where we're so embedded into the distribution networks around the world that we don't think Kickstarter is useful for us. And to be honest, we really want to make sure we're doing cool stuff with Kickstarter backers. It's one of the most it's a really beautiful way to get involved with people. When we did the horror miniatures, we weren't going to do that originally. Through the campaign, we've managed to do something that's not only new to the project, but it's something really fantastic that someone came up with that was just a backer. And that's really cool. That's the kind of stuff we really want to be doing. So I think at least for the next few projects, probably for the next couple of years, we're definitely going to be using Kickstarter for our big projects. For the smaller ones, we'll probably not do. But for the bigger ones, like mentioned, New Speed can be Steampunk Dinosaurs Big Box game that as yet doesn't have a title. We'll be using Kickstarter. So if we have 6,891, we'll be 60th in the world for board games. So I'm just my partner's in the corner like sharing these statistics at me. It's pretty fun. So 6891 backers will be 60th in the world of board games, which is same as Boss Monster 2, which is massive. Right, that's absolutely incredible. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. 6,610 backers. Horror minis are flipping amazing. Awesome. I'm really glad you think that. Like it's really cool to see that they've gone down so well after the backer that's created them as well. Thanks, Martin. Do you recommend the expansions for occasional gamer? Yeah, definitely. They don't take a huge amount of time to work out how to use. A lot of games, the expansions take a lot of understanding of the core game. But once you played the core game a couple of times, you can easily just play the expansions. So yeah, definitely. Okay, do we have to get the Facebook and Twitter goals today, or you'll throw another stressful after we can get there because you love us? Now we'll see. Sad to see we didn't get Project We Love from KS. It happens, it's not a problem really. The thing that matters to us is that we've got backers that like what we're doing. And support us to do what we do. It's always wonderful when we get a Project We Love tag from Kickstarter, but you're never entitled to it. It's what they want to promote on the platform. We've been able to use it, and we're grateful for the Kickstarter platform to do that. So it's a shame, but it happens. We're lucky to have got the support we have. Do you have a favorite expansion? Yeah, for me, it's the Annihilation one, just because it's really crazy and fun. Do you feel cheated because of this? No, not at all. You know, at the end of the day, the Kickstarter team, you know, they've got their objectives, the things that they want to promote, the you know, the ones that fit well with their kind of vision for the platform. So yeah, it's up to them which ones they sort of tag and promote. You know, we would have loved it if we got project we love, but we're not that worried about it. You know, hopefully we'll get one on the next project. How small would the font have to be to get all these backers in the rulebook? I didn't even think of that. Very is the answer to that. Might have to whack in a few extra pages. Hello, Chris. You played just in the last few minutes. Very curious. Awesome. Welcome to the team. Okay, 6,000. 3 minutes to go. 6,610 backers. £367,000. 282. This is awesome. You're exactly right, Donny. All we need is backers love. That's exactly right. Okay. What's we got?
One more backer to go up one more place in the world.
How many more backers?
One.
We need one more backer to go up one more place in the whole world of board games. One more. And we have 4 minutes. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. I don't know. Round plus or minus a minute. Come on, guys.
And you'd be 64.
Come on, someone back it. Hello, Harry. We'll be having. Hey, there we go. We're up a place. We've got fully translated Italian rules and card references and stuff, as well for like 25 other languages. The game's fully language independent, and we will be looking in the future to republish the game in multiple language regions now that it's become so successful. Here we go. Yeah, to think we were afraid it wouldn't hit 200k after the first week drop off. Us too, but like it's gone way better than we thought. And Mark, we're still waiting on that Klingon translation, unfortunately. Can you up a pledge on the Project Manager? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can do that. You can add any add-ons and stuff like that as well. Any extra copies of the game, stuff for friends if they want it in last minute. We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left of ITB's biggest project ever, and wow, this has been absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. Russell, we're not sure which one we're going to use for the Pledge Manager. There's a few different options, and we'll have to weigh them up in the next few days, see which one would suit the project the best. Okay, let's see. 6,619 backers. This is awesome. Are you going to try and top this for your next game? I don't think we can. Like, we'll see, I guess. But like, I mean, this has been absolutely massive. You know, I would have to drink a lot more cans of my product placement caffeine drink to make that happen, I think. Let's see. UV lights on the collector's box. So yeah, so I put like a little UV torch so you can see all the little highlights. Yeah, Mark, you guessed 124k. You got it a bit wrong. Yeah, it's about triple that. When's the movie happening? We're going to be shooting pretty soon, and the countdown has begun. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. I started way too early. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. We've reached the end of the Sub Terra campaign, and I've been handed a sparkling beverage with my fancy Sprite beverage as we had at the start of the campaign.
It's got wine in it.
Cool, this as well. Thank you very much. This actually has wine in this time because it's the evening, unlike last time where we did it in the middle of the day. Well done to everyone. Thanks for backing. It's been an incredible 37, 38 days doing this campaign. It's been absolutely fantastic with everyone being so involved. I've just had, weirdly, an option to ban someone from the chat section just came up. I don't want to do that. But yeah, so it's been an incredible experience running the campaign. It's been really great to get to know more backers and more people who've just been really involved in the campaign, in helping me answer questions when I'm in sleep, because people are in the US or Australia, and want to get some questions and stuff, make their pledge. But yeah, thank you to absolutely everyone. Even if you chucked a quid in just to help out, we really appreciate it. Harry, I'm not going to ban you. You just backed. This is just not going to happen, is it? Silly one. But yeah, so the two Davids, Nassau, Sack, everyone else has been involved in the campaign, and so the hundreds of people who've helped playtest the game, playtest UK crowds, guys at UKGE for helping us, Aircon, Dragon Meat, all the conventions that have hosted us, and yeah, everyone who's just put a thing in the suggestion box or voted on one of the competitions. It's really made the campaign. It's helped it be so successful. So when's the game coming to the mailboxes? Hopefully soon, hopefully in the next couple of months. But yeah, I'm literally, as soon as I get off the laptop, I'll be looking at getting the last bits of the plan sorted, and over the next few days I'll be getting everything ready for the manufacturers, so we can get everything on the roads and get it all printed, and then I'll be off to China to go and inspect it and go film the process. And yes, Andy Bradford, hashtag no more Willy Bells. For everyone who's watching and has no idea why he's put that absurd hashtag right there, about a week ago, our main website got hacked. Onto Viagra Pill website, which was less than ideal. So we had to spend a ton of money getting that fixed. It was kind of horrid. But yeah, so no more Willy Pills. Will the games be delivered by horrors? The Willy Pill sales help raise backers? Unfortunately not. Probably the opposite, I would imagine. Fairly certain you just squeaked into the top 100 most funded tabletop games of all time as well. That's amazing. I'm going to have to check that out, but that's really cool. I think we like 60 something most backed tabletop project, with the number 2 most backed tabletop project in the UK. If we manage to get top 100 most funded tabletop as well, that'd be amazing. Thanks, John, for pointing that out. Harry gets a shout out. You get another one with a hashtag. Excellent. Oh, this is amazing. This is really cool. I'm also looking at myself on the live stream, but like 10 seconds behind, which is really confusing. Yeah, thanks to everyone who's been relaying the discussion on the live stream onto the comment section as well. That's really helpful. As always, we've had some of the best backers you can ask for. Been absolutely amazingly helpful. Who've been a real asset to the team, helping us to answer questions and help sort of clarify things for people sort of in the middle of the comment stream. And yeah, again, thanks for everyone for contributing to all the competitions. It makes a big difference when we know that people are engaging with stuff. No, we're just throwing random crazy ideas into nowhere. But yeah, I'm gonna stay online for another 5-10 minutes. Why not keep it going? But yeah, if you want to ask any last minute questions, just chuck them in the comment section in here, there even, and yeah, I'll answer those, and then I'll probably sign off and get myself some sleep. As Adam said, yeah, do need a bit of rest, and then yeah, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon even probably, we'll get an update put together with all the information on exactly what's included in every pledge level and some information on Pledge Manager. And kind of where it goes from here, really, kind of next steps for the project. Now that we've officially funded Sub Terra, thank you to all of you. We've got now a hard slog ahead of us to get everything ready for the manufacturer, get it made, get it sent to the distribution centers, get it shipped to your house, and get it there in a good condition so that you can enjoy the game. Thanks everyone for just like saying congrats and well done. Like it really means a lot. Like it's really appreciated. Yeah, Thor, don't worry. You don't need to know. Okay, let's look through here. Thanks to everyone that's on the comment section as well, who's just said well done and thanks to everything. That's really nice of you. Yeah, and I'm just looking through all the people who've just been like relaying the comments as well. So it's really helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you to you, Sarah, as well. Like you entered so many competitions. It was really cool. When's above Terra? Funny you should ask. As he takes a coy drink of his slightly alcoholic beverage. So things will arrive in the future. Just watch this space. Keep an eye on those updates. Keep an eye on the newsletter and the Facebook and stuff, and you won't be disappointed, I promise. We're living it now, yeah. Above Terra, cloud exploring. Bit of a different tone, but interesting. Coy eye wiggle. Would you name your Steam dinosaur game Steamer? No. Is the quick answer to that question. It's a different tone to that, but nice try. What was your best wild guess at the beginning? 100,000. Honestly, didn't think it'd get any bigger than that. Yeah. What is your favorite expression? Do you mean like facial expression, or do you mean like verbal? Expression as a very tasty beverage. Thanks.
Just squash and wine.
Terra on Mars. That sounds a lot like another game I've heard of. Cloud Exploring does sound like Bioshock Infinite. A lot like that. What is my favorite facial expression? Probably this one. Does that satisfy that question? So the coy eye wiggle. I'm delirious at this point. I think you probably tell that. Can the game be played solo? Yes, it can. The game system works solo all the way up to 6 players. So, for example, for two players, you play as 2 cavers each. Never do that again. Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, it was pretty weird. But yeah, so the game can be played solo. You play with 4 cavers, a solo, and you cycle around each caver's turn. Because it's pure co-op, it works exactly the same way. Obviously, with less player interaction. That was perfect. Thanks. But yeah, it's perfectly playable solo. When I was first testing it, back when we first started discussing with Tim, I played it solo myself like 10, 15 times and really enjoyed it. And that was back when it was still, a kind of rough diamond of the prototype.
You're either 80th or 100th most funded, and I cannot work it out.
So we're either 80th or 100th most funded tabletop Kickstarter, but we're not sure which. Not sure why, but that's the information I have at hand. What is the ideal number of players? Depends on the group, really. Similar to our last game, Statecraft, it really depends on what kind of game style you prefer to play. I tend to play it with 3 or 4 players just because of my game group size. But it really depends. It plays well at 6, it plays well at 2, it plays well at 1 as well. But like it's really up to you. What kind of game group size you like to play with, really. Works kind of dynamically for any number of players. What did the first prototype look like? So there's actually going to be a picture of that in the development diaries. If you've got that in your pledge, it's also on the online designer's diary blog that we've got on the website. In fact, what I'll do actually is I'll put a link to that here for the games search. Yeah, so I'll just fire the link for the designers that are in there. But if you have a look in there, there's actually a picture in one of the articles there of the first the first prototype that Tim made before the one even I saw. But there'll be a sequence in the movie of you rolling around in a huge pile of cash. So this is one of the things where, like, there's a kind of reality check for everyone watching. This is an incredible amount of funding, but this does not translate to me buying a house. Like, you know, obviously we've got to make sure that everyone gets their games before we touch a single penny of it. So we've done well from this project, and it will help us make more games in the future. But it's not megabucks yet. So it's when's the KFC run happening? When I'm offline, and then I go, it's probably not even open now. Like, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to go tomorrow lunchtime, get myself a family bucket, or at least like a boneless banquet for one. You know, go for the conservative option. Did you get organisations or retailers trying to pledge or somehow get involved in the project? Yeah, we did. So we've had quite a few retailers. There's definitely the last few days as well who've pledged for copies. So we give them like a bulk discount for buying the big chunks of copies. Most of us get a bagel. Yeah. So for people who don't know, we're based on Brick Lane, which is a sort of famous street in London, which is particularly famous for, as Mark's just said, the salt beef bagel. Pretty iconic food stuff around here. And there are two 24-hour bagel shops just up the road from me, about 5 minutes walk. So may treat myself. So yeah, they are good. They're really good. Just had to do a Chipotle run. Did we make the number 2? Yes, we did make the number 2. Woo! And Dominic, good choice of fast food restaurant. Now you're going to describe what you had in your burrito, if it was a burrito that you got. Did you get the hot sauce, or did you get the not so hot sauce? Brown rice or white rice? Flour tortilla, corn tortilla? Okay, we'll do a couple more questions, and then I'm going to sign off, and then we'll call it for the evening. And yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. I don't have a child, but I think I know what you mean. Yeah, I think that we're going to have to call that a wrap, guys. Introduce who's in your side. Oh, yeah, so this is Emily. This is my partner. Hello, Emily.
Very full of cold.
Emily is very full of cold and is a little bit ill. But yeah, Emily has also been behind the scenes, helping at every stage, making sure I'm not doing silly numbers on my spreadsheets, and generally just being an amazing support. So thank you, Emily. Thank you for backing. Thank you for being a massive support on this campaign. It really means a huge amount to us as a team, and it means that not only we're going to be able to make Sub Terra a huge project going forwards, much bigger than we thought we were going to be able to, but it's going to help us make even bigger projects. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we do need some vitamin C, definitely. But yeah, so it's bye for now. But you'll hear from me soon, and you'll be seeing more updates on the project page very soon. So thank you to everyone again, and good night / good morning, because it's really late here. But yeah, so goodbye, everyone.